Hello friends, this is Mr. Ravindra Tajne. I welcome all of you to our YouTube channel as Ravitaj Online Banking Academy. I would like to request you kindly subscribe our channel for new videos which are important for UPSC examinations or banking examinations or staff selection commission examinations. Today we are discussing very small and important topic as difference between assumptions and conclusion with very a small and short video. Actually, before going in detail, we'll have a definitions of what is arguments or what is argumentations. My dear friends, an argument can be simply defined as it has clauses, phrases or statements or sentences which includes a claim or a conclusion. Means of argumentations, one part leads to assume something and one part leads to conclude something. In our separate video, we'll have a detailed discussions about argumentations afterwards. Today we are discussing difference between assumptions and conclusion by very simple technique, that is by knowing what is ideal way of arguing and what is actual way of arguing. So my dear friends, this topic is very important for most of the examinations. So I would like to request you kindly listen this video till last and very cautiously. You are getting number of things very important which are important for examinations. So kindly listen this video till last. So let's start our actual lecture of difference between assumptions and conclusion. So actually in ideal way of argumentations or in ideal way of argumentations or ideal way of arguing, author is putting everything step by step to the readers. Author is putting nothing hidden from the readers. Okay, kindly listen. Author is putting nothing hidden from the readers. Everything he put very step by step. And in ideal way of arguing, we conclude at the last. Okay, so let us understand this basic concept by simple mathematical passage or simple linear equation. Suppose assume that we are in the 4th standard and suppose teacher told you ki solve these equations or solve this linear equation. Teacher told you solve this linear equation. Suppose equation will consider as step number 1, 3x plus 6 is equal to 9. Then step number 2, my dear friends, 3x is equal to 9 minus 6. Step number 3rd, 3x is equal to 3. Step number 4 is equal to x is equal to 3 by 3. And we lastly say x is equal to 1. Here, my dear friends, every step is interlinked to each other. Listen very clearly. Every step is linked to each other. So in ideal way of argumentations or ideal way of arguing, no assumption is to be developed. So no assumption is to be developed. We directly conclude x is equal to 1. So here conclusions, obviously we are concluding x is equal to 1 at the last. So here as all steps are interlinked to each other, so no assumption is to be developed. So let us understand another way of argumentations, that is called as actual way of arguing. Suppose we assume that same passage teacher told you to solve when you are in the 10th standard. So our same mathematical equation teacher told you to solve in terms of when we are in the 10th standard as 3x plus 6 is equal to 9. So my dear friends, suppose we assume that in the 10th standard we are not writing everything step by step. Number of steps we do in mind and we indirectly conclude x is equal to 1. This is very important. Means step number 2, 3, 4 we keep as hidden. We assume that, we suppose that, we taken for granted ki teacher is knowing all these things. We have to not read, we have to not write everything step by step. As paper checker or teacher is knowing everything very clearly, neat and clean. So we are not writing 2, 3, 4 as a step in detail. And accordingly, my dear friends, we indirectly conclude x is equal to 1. So in simple way, in actual way of argumentations, step number 2, 3, 4 called as hidden steps, unsaid steps, and called as assumptions of the passage or assumptions of the equations. Okay. So my dear friends, suppose यहाँ पे आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि x is equal to 3 by 3. This statement is true or false? My dear friend, this statement is obviously true, but directly true. It is directly drawn from the passage. Means यहाँ पे आपको x is equal to 3 by 3. ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है और फॉल्स है, इतना पूछा है. तो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, यहाँ पे x is equal to 3 by 3. This statement is obviously true, but this is not an assumption. Means यहाँ पे आपका assumption नहीं बन रहा. because all statements are interlinked to each other. Suppose यहाँ पे मैंने आपको पूछा है step number 2 as x is equal to 3 by 3, x is equal to 3 by 3. This is assumption or not? Obviously assumption of the passage. Suppose यहाँ पे दो तरीके से क्वेश्चन आपको पूछा जा सकता है. x is equal to 3 by 3. This statement is true or false? Obviously true, but it is indirectly true. यहाँ पे directly true है, यहाँ पे indirectly true है. So and accordingly this step is called as assumptions of the passage. Means towards the concluding part of our today's video, short video, what is assumption, my dear friends? The assumption means something assumed, something supposed, and something taken for granted indirectly with the author's point of view. So normally assumptions can be true or false. And suppose if you want to define a conclusion, conclusions normally simply defined as decisions taken at the last, or conclusion can be also true or false. Or in detail, suppose we discuss in detail, all assumptions are parallel conclusions, but all conclusions are not parallel assumptions. Kindly remember, very kind difference between assumptions and conclusion. So all assumptions can be called as conclusions, but conversely all conclusions cannot be called as assumptions. Mean to conclude with today's our video, my dear friends, in ideal way of arguing, as author is putting everything step by step, no assumption is to be developed and we directly conclude x is equal to 1, but in actual way of argumentations, number of steps is put by the author as a hidden. And so step number 2, 3, 4 called as assumptions of the passage or assumptions of the equations, and accordingly we indirectly conclude x is equal to 1. So to conclude with, this topic is obviously very important for all of you, for most of the examinations. So to conclude with, as assumptions are hidden part of the passage, or assumptions are hidden unsaid part of the passage, and conclusion is normally it can be hidden also or openly told also. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you like this video, or you have obviously understand the basic concept between assumptions and conclusion. For our new videos and new updates, I request you kindly subscribe our online channel or our YouTube channel as Ravitaj Online Banking Academy for new updates and new videos. So thank you, my dear friends, for having nice discussions with you. Thank you. Take care. Good day.